Today we talk about digital transformation. This show is for everyone working at the coalface. Digital, business, marketing, social. This is At the Coalface with your host, Jason Greenwood. Hello everybody, I'm Jason Greenwood. Welcome to episode 38 of At the Coalface. Today we're talking about a subject that is an extremely interesting subject. It's one that gets a lot of attention. It certainly is filled with kind of the buzzwords of the moment, and that is the topic of digital transformation. But more specifically, top-down versus bottom-up digital transformation, what that actually means, which approach you should take, and why. And I'm going to explain what I mean by those terms, top-down or bottom-up, by relating a couple of stories to you from my digital/e-commerce agency days. So there were often times when we would go in and we would meet with clients or prospective clients when we were starting to do some initial discovery, some initial scoping work on potential projects or projects that we were looking to kick off. And we would go in and obviously as a digital e-commerce agency, we're often brought in to focus on the front end of their business. So the pieces of software and the technology that affected the customer journey or the customer experience. So it was typically their website, and it was other commerce enablement technologies such as site search technology, EDM/email technology, personalization technology, live chat technology, and various other things connecting to marketplaces and other touch points with the customer on the front end. So the front end components that really drove revenue and drove the customer experience, social integrations and the like. And oftentimes when we would go in and we would sit down and we would get, maybe an hour into the discovery phase of finding out how these businesses operated and what they did, and we would very rapidly uncover that their problem initially was not really the front end of their business, but their problem was actually the back end of their business. So their business management software stack. So typically if they're a medium-sized business or larger, we're talking about an ERP/CRM/order management/warehouse management system, stock management system, warehousing management, etc. So we would often find and uncover the fact that a lot of businesses, even much very large businesses that you would think have all of their back office systems running absolutely perfectly, we would often find that those back office systems were not ready in any way, shape, or form. Neither was the data ready in any way, shape, or form to bolt ultra-modern digital transformative front end onto, because they were running out of spreadsheets or they were running out of very old legacy on-premise software, and as a result of that their software didn't scale, it was using old data formats, etc., etc. And so we would typically, in those scenarios, we'd be very honest and we'd have to say, look, we need to step back from this engagement. We can give you some advice and point you in the right direction of getting the back of the house in order, and we can tell you all the areas that are lacking to be able to transform your business digitally on the front end and really create that amazing customer experience and customer journey that you're wanting to create, that memorable customer journey that you want to create that lifetime value of the customer, so they want to do business with you over and over again and they're very delighted to work with you. On the flip side, occasionally we would go into businesses and they would have their back of the house absolutely tip-top shape. Their data was perfectly formatted and ready to go for front-end display on websites and shopping comparison websites and marketplaces, and they had all of the back office systems ready to go. They had the CRM, so they knew everything about their customers. They had a single database for all those things. And then we could really go in and do some really good work on the front end transformatively, really revamp basically their entire front-end experience, make sure that the creative was spot on, make sure that their brand was communicated effectively online, and ultimately generate some extra revenue for them. And we knew at that point that if we were going to, for example, if our goal was to go in and really double revenue on the front end within the first 12 months through their website and their other digital channels, then we knew at that point that the back office systems, the HR, the warehousing, absolutely everything, the manufacturing in some cases, was able to cope with those ultimate front-end goals, those revenue-driven goals. And so that really is what we're talking about today. The top-down approach is to improve the front end, the bottom-up approach is to improve the back end. And so what I would like to say is that obviously both are very important, but it very much depends on the business life cycle and where business is at in its business life cycle, typically of which one is more important at that particular point in time. If you're a medium-sized enterprise or larger and you're doing a couple $1 million a year or more in revenue already, and you're looking to revamp your front end, but your back end is a shambles, then you absolutely must focus on the back end of your business. What are those core business systems you have to be able to scale and grow your business in a cost-effective way that's not going to compromise the customer experience on the front end? So that typically means putting in an ERP system / CRM system / order management, warehouse management, and other key business financials, obviously. All those systems that are really important, and they're typically part of an ERP stack at that point to really allow you to scale and grow and transform your business digitally. And if you don't have that, you got to start looking at that, especially as you get larger. If you're a smaller business or if you're a startup, then obviously those back office systems may be not so as important out of the gate from a digital transformation perspective. At that point, you really need to drive revenue, because at the end of the day, if you can't grow your business fast, then you'll never have enough revenue to be able to support the cost of those business management systems that do cost a lot if they're full stack. And so you're going to want to be focusing on very much the front end technology and having absolutely cutting edge customer journey, customer focused experiences on the front end. And so you're going to be talking about your website, you're going to be talking about all the commerce enablement technologies, and if you're multi-channel or omni-channel, then you're going to be talking about your POS systems and the integrations that needs to happen between your various different touch points on the front end. So it really does depend on the life cycle of your business and where you're at. The one thing I will say is, regardless of where you're at in your journey, regardless of where you're starting from, and regardless of whether you now believe that you need to start your digital transformation journey or the digitalization of your business on the front end or top down or back end bottom up, my strongest piece of advice would be to, when you're looking to the software stack on either side, is to look SaaS first, look cloud first. It is really, it's going to be part and parcel of your ability to scale, of your ability to control costs, of your ability to tap into the power of a global ecosystem of customers of those particular vendors, to where you're not the only customer of a really proprietary, custom-built bespoke system that you then have to build and maintain, and you have to bring innovation to that platform. So, on the converse side, there is effectively the opposite of cloud or SaaS software is self-hosted on-premise software. And that's really, it's a legacy model, it's a legacy development model, it's a legacy software model, and every single time I've seen businesses make a move in major ways to transform their business digitally, and they've opted for on-premise software, it's always come with a lot of constraints to it, and it's come with a lot of complexity that forces them to focus on infrastructure, to focus on keeping the lights on and maintenance and upgrades and security and every other thing, as opposed to purely being able to focus on growing their business and improving the customer experience. So that would be my biggest single piece of advice when you're looking to transform your business digitally, regardless of where it is. Look to SaaS software first. If you can't find anything that meets your needs, which would be unlikely in today's world because there's a SaaS bit of software to do almost everything, I'd look to SaaS first, look at on-premise as a last resort. And from a back office, ground up transformation bit of software, my number one pick, my number one recommendation is NetSuite. There really is only one, and it is NetSuite. That's a cloud SaaS-based piece of software, can do full stack business management, has the CRM, has the ERP, has the warehouse management, has all the components you need to run your business, has the financials. On the front end, you have a lot more options. So when you're taking top-down approach to digital transformation and you want to keep it SaaS, you have a lot more options on the front end than you do really on the back end. So everything from Bigcommerce to Shopify to Belusion to Demandware. Sorry, it's not Demandware anymore. It's now Salesforce Commerce Cloud. So yeah, obviously being purchased by Salesforce. So but that you have a lot more options on the front end from a SaaS perspective, and almost all of the commerce componentry on top of the e-commerce platform itself, it's already SaaS anyway. So from your site search products to your chat products to your marketplaces to your integrations to everything else, most of those platforms are already SaaS anyway. And so you just need the glue, the integration to tie those pieces together. And there's very, very good SaaS integration platforms out there today. And there's SaaS PIM products, product information management tools, etc. So there's really no need on the front end to go with legacy on-premise self-hosted products anymore. It's just not necessary. Whether you're a medium-sized business all the way up to a massive enterprise, there's a SaaS solution for you on the front end. So hopefully you've found this, I guess, these concepts of top-down versus bottom-up digital transformation. Hopefully you found these concepts interesting, and hopefully you can see yourself in one of these scenarios, and hopefully the information and the recommendations are going to be helpful to you and handy to you. If you've gone through a recent digital transformation and you've had some good experiences that you want to share, questions you'd like to ask, let us know what pieces of software you selected for your digital transformation, what the outcome was, and has it achieved everything that you were looking to achieve for yourself and your customers. Look forward to hearing from you. Thanks.